Hey guys, it's Jayla. Welcome back. I'm here today to share with you my update for Project Yarnathon. This is a project that was created by Andrea over at Pretty as a Peacock here on YouTube. And the goal is to use a marathon's worth of yarn. Knit, crochet, make macrame, whatever you'd like. So far through my May update, I had knit up a total of 11,024 yards, which is about 23.8% of a marathon. A marathon's worth of yarn is 46,145 yards. So I have a ways to go. I have specifically 35,121 yards remaining. So the question is, did I finish any items in the last month? Well, yes, I did. I finished 3 items. First off, let me share the one that I am actually wearing. This is a sweater. The pattern I was using was the Comfort Fade cardigan by Andrea Mowry, but I did not do a fade, obviously. I just did one color, which made it a little bit easier to, work through the pattern. I will insert a video now of me showing you the sweater itself and how it looks on. I love how it turned out. The sleeves are a little bit long, but I kind of like that. I can always rip the sleeves back a little bit if I want. Anyway, I love how the sweater turned out. I love the color. I love everything about it. The color was a beast. It was a beast, but it's a great pattern. Very well written by Andrea. I love it. For this sweater, I was using a yarn by the brand Hermosa Fiber. It was an indie dyer from way back in the day. And the colorway is Concord. Here is what's left of the 7 skeins that I had. And I just was gonna look to see when I stashed this yarn. I stashed it in 2010, so it's 13 years old. I ended up using a total of 1,385 yards for this sweater. I can't remember the size I knit. Let me see if it's in my project notes. Oh yeah, I knit a 39-inch size sweater. So anyway, love how this one turned out. Very, very happy. And I had cast this project on back in 2020. So I got an old project out of my whips. I'm just delighted. So anyway, happy with this. The next project I have to show you is a hat. Now this is knit for a friend and I have yet to show this to her. I probably should show it to her before I put this video up. But anyway, this hat is called the Hannah hat. And I was using Madeline Tosh DK in the shade Jade, and I did not end up needing very much of this yarn. So anyway, here is the hat. I will put it on so you can see. I'm going to be boiling here in a minute. So this does have an opening in the back for a ponytail, and I have to put buttons on, but I need to message. This is for Jen over at Project Beauty. I need to message her and see which buttons she wants. So I haven't put them on yet. But anyway, here is the hat. The interesting thing about this pattern is it originally had you knit a very short body of the hat before you started your decreases. And I knit according to the pattern. I'm trying to remember what I did here. So I knit according to the pattern and then I started the decreases and I was like, this is going to be way too short. So I ended up ripping back to the increases that I had started and I added an extra inch to this portion right here. So the ponytail opening is a little bit longer, but I feel like the hat needed that. Anyway, like I said, this did not use very much yarn. This used a total of 79 yards, so not even half of a 100-gram skein of yarn. So I still have enough to probably knit one more hat out of the yarn that I have left. I'm probably going to knit something different, but yeah, was pretty surprised by how little yarn that used up. But anyway, I'm happy with how it turned out. Then the last item I finished is actually a pair of socks. So here are my self-striping socks from a The yarn is by Knitterly Things. This is an indie dyer. She still dyes. The colorway is Algae. I think that's the name of the colorway. Anyway, these turned out super cute. Now, I have had this yarn a really long time as well. 2008 is when I stashed this. So there were some broken bits of yarn that I had to kind of work with. Like something had chewed through it. The good thing is they both ended up exactly the same in terms of the stripe sequence. Yay. So I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, this ended up using a total of 304 yards, and this is how much yarn I have left. So I have quite a decent amount, about 120 yards left. But I'm happy to have 3 projects finished this month, and I finished a big one, a sweater. Okay, I'm going to take the sweater off because it's very warm. It's June, so it's warm. Ziggy has come to say hi. Hello, sir. Did you get a good snack? Mwah. All right, so going through some numbers. With the cardigan, the socks, and the hat, I knit a total of 1,768 yards. And that brings me to knitting a total of 12,792 yards since this project started. I have 33,353 yards remaining, but I'm happy to say that I have surpassed 1/4 of a marathon. I am currently at 27.7% of a marathon's worth of yarn. So that's awesome. I do want to share with you some items that I have some progress on. Ziggy, where'd you go? So after I finished the Algae socks, the self-striping socks, I decided to pull out another project that's a very simple, mindless sock project because I like to take these with me on airplanes. Hi! I know! Ziggy likes to play with my yarn. What are you doing? Probably should not have teased him. He will take a ball of yarn and grab it with his talons and then bunny kick it. Yeah, see? Anyway, so the yarn I have here is, when Ziggy was playing this one, this is by the brand Canon Hand Dyes, and the colorway is Rainbow Drops. I think it's part of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory collection. I don't know if she does yarn like this anymore, but it's a 6-color self-striping yarn, and I'm just knitting simple toe-up stockinette socks. So here is how these are looking now. This marker shows you where I was before I picked this back up. So this is how much I had cast on I'd knit previously. Wow. Anyway, that's how much I've knit so far. I do have my heel stitch right here, so I know where I will insert my heel, and that helps me gauge how much I need to knit for the leg before I start my ribbing. So anyway, this is coming along very nicely. It's very easy to knit on. Of course, I don't have to look at my hands when I do it. So sometimes I'll knit on this whenever I'm editing videos, or like I said, I'm on the plane, or if I'm watching something that I really have to pay attention to, I'll work on these. So that's coming along nicely. I would love to have these finished before the next update, but I think I'm just going to work on them and see how it goes. The second project I've been working on is a pattern called Muji Painting. And this is, I'll throw a picture up over here, but it's a pretty standard stockinette looped cowl, and it uses lace weight yarn. So this is the yarn I'm using. This is by the brand Sundara, and the yarn is a lace silky merino, which is 70% merino, 30% silk. This colorway is Rhythm of the Saints, and I'm about halfway through this yarn. So basically you knit until you run out of yarn, and then you graft the two ends of the cowl together. So I have this currently on waste yarn at the bottom. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. There's my waste yarn here. So I cast on waste yarn, and I have knit a ton of this. So I can't even get it all into frame. Oh, well, there we go. Maybe if I do it this way. So you can see my stitch marker right here. That's where I picked this up. Wow. That's where I picked this back up over the last month and started knitting. As soon as I finished my sweater, I decided that this was, I realized I did not, I only knit like half a row on here. When I finished my sweater, this is the wrong side. When I finished my sweater, I decided to work on another long-term project, and this is the one I picked. So anyway, long story long, I have been knitting on this, and that is how much I've knit in the last month from here to my needles. This is coming along. I mean, I've knit a lot on this. I think it ends up being around 12 inches or so. So I've knit a lot on it, but it's taking forever. I mean, like I said, this is 8 grams from here to here of yarn, and I have 50 to go. I basically have to knit this amount again because I'm only halfway done. It's going to take a long time, but this is the one I'm working on. I will knit on this when I don't have to pay attention to what I'm watching when I'm watching TV, because this, I have to look at my hands when I knit this, because it's such a fine lace weight yarn. It's really easy for me to not necessarily drop stitches, but sometimes I will knit into the stitch below what's on the needles, and then I have to, drop that stitch down to fix it, and it's annoying. So that's why I really have to watch my knitting. And it's easy for the yarn because it's silky merino. It's a silk blend. It's easy for it to fall off the needle, and it's slippery. It's a slippery yarn. So anyway, that's why I have to be careful with this one. Hi. So this is the next large project I want to finish. This yarn has a total of, I think, 1,000 yards. Yeah, 1,000 yards in one 100-gram skein of yarn. It's going to take some time. Hi. Sixter. Hey. He's purring. Hey. Hey. Hi. Hey. Be nice. I did decide to pull out 2 other projects just to have around to work on. So I have the socks, I have the cowl. I decided to pull out this hat that I basically just cast on the ribbing. So this is what I have. It's not much. This hat is called the Gluma. I think it's the Gluma beanie. I could be wrong, or it's the Gluma hat or the Gluma beanie. Anyway, this is, I literally have a quarter to half an inch of knitting. So this is with fingering weight yarn. So it's it's going to be a longer term hat project. That other one took so little time. This one's going to take some time. Anyway, this is Sundara sock yarn. I think this colorway is Caribbean. Yeah, the shade is Caribbean. I have 350 yards of this. This is also a very old yarn. This was stashed in 2009. So I'm pulling this out just to get some progress on it here and there. Especially whenever I get bored of working on the cowl, I can pull something like this out and maybe it's a little more interesting, and the progress is a little more noticeable. And then the other one that I pulled out is a pair of mitts. This is what I have so far on this. These are the beeswax mitts. Now I have knit this pattern before, and then I lost one of the 2 mitts. This is a fingerless mitt pattern. So I wanted to remake these because I love how they turned out. So yeah, this is another project where I'm like, if I'm bored and want something a little bit more interesting, this has some cabling going on. I think it'd be nice. And this is going to be a quicker project because even though it's cabled, it's a small project. It's just a pair of fingerless mitts. So I think I'll be able to get through that fairly quickly. Anyway, that is what I have to share with you today. So I talked about my numbers and what I finished and what I plan on working on. So hopefully I have at least one project finished next month. We'll see. I do want to focus on that cowl because it's, again, it's a project I've been working on forever. We'll see. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you're doing well and staying safe. Please hit that subscribe button and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. A marathon's worth of yarn. Be nice. Hi. Thank you. He doesn't look that happy, does he? I know. Okay, bye.